Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to our Longleat question and answer. I'm Daisy and I'm here with my wonderful colleagues who I will ask to give a little wave. Graeme from Animal Adventure, Tina from Hoofstock, and Caleb from Carnivores. So we've been amazed and received so many fantastic questions from you all, and we're really looking forward to answering as many as we can. And we will also be able to answer some of the live questions. If you want to pop your questions in the comment box below, we'll get to that at the end. So diving straight in with one of the most popular questions I think we had on zookeeping, which I will kick off with asking Graeme. So Joshua, aged 10, and Sophia, aged 8, would like to know, Graeme, how to become a zookeeper, and also Elsa, 10, would like to be a zoologist. So do you need to be a vet first? Do you have to train differently if you want to work with different animals like big cats opposed to giraffes? And Steph asks, do you need a degree?
Hi guys, welcome to Facebook Live. Yeah, being a zookeeper, it is the best career choice ever. I would encourage everybody to do it. Hugely competitive though. We do have lots and lots of people that want to be zookeepers because we get to work outside, we get to work with lots of fun, cool and funky animals. And you know, we have people here from all backgrounds. Some people have degrees, some people have high school qualifications, and other people have worked for most of their lives in other jobs and then fancy a change. So really, you've got to have a passion for wildlife. You've got to love working outside. You've got to be a team player because especially when you work with the carnivores and some of the bigger hoofstock, you've got to rely on those team members to help keep you safe. And really, you've got to love talking to the public as well. A lot of what we do is educating the public about the animals in the wild. So no, don't obviously study as hard as you can in school. All the parents out there will say do as best as you possibly can, but as long as you love animals, you'll get there eventually. So just keep trying.
Oh, that's so helpful, Graeme. And thinking about caring for the animals, Vicky, Potts, Poppy and Izzy were interested in actually how many animals do we have here at Longleat?
So it varies really from year to year, depending on births and how many old animals and young animals we have. But it says about 1,000 individual animals, and that's not if we include the insects and the fish as well, because we count them as colonies rather than individuals. But yeah, about 1,000 animals, and we sit at about 150 odd species. So yeah, quite a lot to keep us busy.
A lot to look after. And Tina, Charlotte Ashdown's son Bodhi, has been spending quite a lot of time watching some cartoons which have had zebras in, where they've been shown as being easily spooked. Is that true? Do they get spooked easily?
Ooh, they can do. I would say they're absolutely correct. They are prey animals. And one of their biggest predators is the African lions, as Caleb would know. And their way to prevent them from being someone's dinner, essentially, is their flight response. So throughout the day, when they're out there grazing in the plains or out here in Longleat's reserve, they have to keep their eyes and ears open for any dangers. And if they find any dangers, anything that spooks them, even though we don't have any lions near to our zebras here, you'll find hot air balloons coming over the park, a plastic bag on a fence line, anything, so a rabbit running across the reserve that they didn't see and they see it in the corner of their eye. Their immediate response is their flight response, which means to get away from danger, they literally get up and run in the opposite direction to get to safety. So they're always on their toes, always looking around. So yes, sometimes they do look like they're getting spooked quite a lot out there.
That's amazing. We may not have lions next to our zebras, but we do have giraffes, and Eloise and Tilda from St Andrews in Bristol are actually really interested to know how a giraffe gets its splotches and whether they're unique patterns like zebras.
Oh, I like the use of the word splotches there.
I like that too.
That is really good. They're born with them. The patterns that they have, they come out when they're little calves, and you can see the small patterns on their coat. And then as they actually grow up into adults, this becomes a lot more obvious. but they're just like us. Some people have brown hair, some people have blonde hair. They're all individuals, so they're absolutely correct in that they're just as unique as zebra stripes. Ella, one of our young female adults in here, she's got really defined dark rich brown patches on a really light white background, compared to Shrimp here, who's one of our young boys, who again has a light coat, but it looks like someone's put snow and snowflakes all over his back, so they're really different. So yeah, they're completely correct in saying they're unique like a zebra stripes, and they also really, those differences help us keepers tell which individual's which and tell them apart, really.
Oh, that's amazing. And talking of markings, Caleb, Xander, aged 5, knows that zebras are black with white stripes, but are tigers orange with black stripes or black with orange stripes?
They're orange with black stripes.
Oh,
Yeah, they actually have stripes on the skin as well. And obviously there's a lot of white fur as well. So it's about a 50-50 split between white and orange, and then the black stripes as well.
amazing. And Alice Johnston, who is age 9, was wondering, are tigers born with their stripes?
Yep, they're born with their stripes, and you can tell them apart from their stripes from a very early age. So we could tell the two cubs apart by using their stripes from the day they were born, pretty much. So Rusty's got very similar markings to his dad, and Yuki's got very similar markings to her mum, and they don't change throughout their life.
Amazing. And Amelia, aged 4, Caleb, would like to know, how fast can a tiger run?
So tigers are really quick. They can run over 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
So that's really quick, yeah.
So Amelia couldn't beat the tiger in a race then?
No, unfortunately not. No. All our carnivores are really quick. So the tigers are actually one of the slowest. Cheetahs can run over 70 miles an hour. And then lions, wolves and hyenas are somewhere in between. So yeah, all our carnivores are really quick.
That's amazing. So moving down under then with a question for Graeme. Could you tell Joseph, who is age 10, how the koalas are doing?
Koalas are doing really, really well. Having that really hot week last week, they've all been outside, enjoying the sunshine. They have been sat out in the rain today, really heavy rainstorms that we had earlier this afternoon. They've all been sat out in that as well. So they're doing incredibly well. And this is the season that they enjoy. So while we're all stuck inside trying to stay safe, they're all outside enjoying the lovely weather and eating as much eucalyptus as they can fit in their stomachs.
Wonderful. And Harmony, aged 8, was more interested to know, is Violet the koala still the bossiest?
Yes, absolutely. Violet is the viper of the group. She is the boss. So she will tell the girls where they're allowed to sit. If she wants the food in a particular pot, she'll move them out of the way. And yeah, we definitely think she is ruling the roost in Koala Creek.
Fantastic. And hopefully soon to be ruling the roost. Dylan and Ethan had a really good question about our male koala Dennis and whether he's reached the right weight yet to be able to mate with the females.
So this is like the worst kept secret on Park. Dennis is the right weight, 100%. He is ready, he is bellowing. Unfortunately, this is not going to be his year, and that will break everybody's hearts, I'm sure. Burke, who is our Japanese koala, he arrived back in October, and he actually already met the girls just last week. So he has spent 2 weeks holiday with the ladies, and we've just took him out of the weekend because the girls had had enough, and Violet decided to try and push him out of the enclosure. So she said, right, that's it. You've overstayed your welcome. You've eaten all our food. Go back to your own home. So sadly, Dennis, although he is ready and he is certainly showing the right signs, he'll have to wait another year, I'm afraid, until the girls are ready again.
Oh, Dennis. So Graeme, finally, probably our koalas not so cuddly neighbours. Noah, aged 8, would like to know if our Cuban crocodiles are getting along with each other.
Yeah, the Cuban crocodiles are doing really, really well. So, yeah, they had an initial few weeks of squabbling. Those that have seen Animal Park on the TV the last week have seen their introduction and their arrival. It's been about a year since that was shot now, and they're getting on like a house on fire. They're eating huge amounts of food, as all the animals do this time of year. No squabbling, no fighting, and on a good day they'll even be side-by-side sunbathing. So, yeah, they're getting on really, really well.
Oh, fantastic. And just out of interest, how high can a Cuban crocodile jump?
So we recorded them at about 2 meters out of the water.
Wow.
We try not to encourage them to jump too high because our barrier is just about 2.5 meters, which is enough to stop the fingers going inside. But yeah, they are known for grabbing birds out of trees. So even though they live in the water, they spend a lot of their day hunting fish and small mammals on land as well. Birds are a favourite, and they will grab the chicks out of the nests that are overhanging the rivers.
Wow, wow. Watch out. So hopping back to the safari now, Tina, Isabel, age 9, would like to know, how is Anne the elephant doing?
Anne's doing really well. I'm not with her every day. I pop up and see her from time to time, but I get to speak to their keepers every day. And from what they've been telling me, she's quite grateful that the winter's now over, and enjoying the sunshine, because obviously during the colder months, she has to be kept warm. So sometimes she can't come outside because we have to keep the house nice and warm. But now it's this lovely weather, she gets 24-hour access. And the guy's been saying she's spending a lot of time outside. They're hiding so much, and she's going around grazing. She's already taken a look at her pool, enjoying her shower. So for an old lady, she's doing very well.
Oh, fantastic. And probably what she gets to be amused by most days, a question which I think we're all wondering, from Michelle Wilson-Tippett: are the monkeys coping okay without causing any mischief on visitors' cars at the minute?
They definitely miss the visitors. You can see that, definitely miss. I mean, cars are coming into the enclosure is something different every day. It's something that changes in their enclosure. So people coming around with their cars, they bring in new smells. Leaves get stuck down in by your wipers on the front of the cars, so they like to come and forage and see what they can find as you come in. And they act as another climbing frame, especially for the youngsters. So they do miss the visitors, so the keepers are spending a lot of time with them, trying to fill in that. The troop's active, they love being challenged, so the keepers are making sure they're being kept active, kept engaged. Only the other day, our camels are molting at the moment, so we took some camel fur, put a big pile in there. Some of them were just running around with them wrapped around their heads. It was an absolute mess, and I'm glad I was not the one that had to clean that up.
Oh, brilliant. And talking of cars and mischief, Caleb, Abigail, 12, and Sophie Randall are both interested if Red is missing chasing cars, our male tiger.
No, Red's really happy. He's absolutely loving life at the minute. He goes out in the drive-through and uses the pond when it's been nice and hot, and he's just loving watching Yana and the cubs. He doesn't chase us around in the trucks or anything like that, so he's just enjoying the peace and quiet, to be honest.
Oh, fantastic. And also, Annabelle, age 7, was wondering, how old is our oldest cheetah?
Our oldest cheetah is Carl, and he's 12 years old, which is a very good age for a cheetah. And then we've got the youngest ones that are going to be 2 this year.
Oh, brilliant. And probably taking us off some land now, just before we go to some live questions. Graeme, are our little sea lions, are they missing all the fish? Stanley, age 7, would like to know.
Well, normally they would be, but we're actually still doing boat trips. So we're just doing boat trips with no people on board. So the sea lion keepers are going out 2 or 3 times a day. They've still got the same amount of fish that we give our guests to feed normally, and they're still getting the sea lions to chase the boats around. So normally they would swim anything up to 30 to 40 miles a day, chasing all the boats. So they're having a bit of a summer's rest. They'll have a bit of a summer belly, I'm sure. And hopefully, as soon as we can open again, our guests can come back in and enjoy them.
Fantastic. I think we'll all have a lockdown belly. So looking at some live questions now that we've had through. So one for you, Tina. My daughter Isabel, who is age 7, would like to know, how can you tell when one animal is unwell, as they can't tell you what's up?
Oh, that is, sometimes it's not very easy. Sometimes it's quite obvious if something is lame. If they've hurt their leg, you can that's clearly obvious. You can see them. We, on a daily, as keepers, we do checks throughout the day. First thing we do is we come in, we count the animals, we check they're all right. Some things like that, some ailments are quite obvious, if there's a swelling, an injury, things like that. But sometimes, for instance, when we have a bad stomach or a headache, we can tell you that, but a lot of the animals that we look at can't show that. You know, if they show that, it provides a weakness, whether that's to a predator or to another individual in the group. If you show a weakness, they might try and take a position in that group. So sometimes we have to find it difficult, but it's helpful, the fact that we work with our animals day in, day out. We know what's normal for our animals. We know which animals, how they eat, how they walk, how they're doing, what's their normal behavior. We're obsessed with poo. We always check to make sure everyone's gone to the toilet and things like that. So the fact that we know animals inside and out, if we can't see something physically, if something's off, if they're not eating, if they're not as active as normal, then we as keepers, knowing animals so well, we normally be able to pick up on these things.
Thank you so much, Tina. And Caleb, a question from Harriet. She'd like to know how many wolves we have in the pack.
So we've actually got 10 in the pack outside, and then we've got 2 smaller packs, which is made up of Meg, one of the animals that was featured on Animal Park last year, who was chased around and received a few injuries. We've made a sub pack with her and her sisters, so they're called the Mega Stars to us as keepers, and they've got Meg, Mel, Max and May, and then we've obviously got our 2 timber wolves who were out in the reserve for such a long period of time before the European wolves, so we've still got Dave and Alf left as well. So we've got Django's pack, which is the 10 outside, and then the other 2 smaller packs as well.
Fantastic. And I won't make you name them all, but Molly, aged 9 from Warminster, was interested. Do you have a name for every single wolf?
Not every single wolf as yet. The ones that were born last year, we don't have names for yet, because their personalities and their behaviours sort of haven't really started to come through yet. So we don't want to give them names until they sort of reflect their personalities and their behaviours a little bit, because so we try and name them when they sort of have their own, because they're still quite low in the pack and they don't seem to interact too much. So we're trying to work out names for them that fit their rank and their sort of personalities, basically. Fantastic.
When their personalities start to shine.
Yeah.
So the last question for Graeme, and this is a question we got a lot in advance, and also some question in the comments as well. Have the animals been missing people during lockdown, and have you noticed any behaviour change?
Yeah, do you know what? I think they have. I think both the animals and the keepers have been missing our guests, for sure. We're seeing changes in animals. Not necessarily bad changes, but animals venturing into areas that they may not normally go. Animals, we're finding some of the animals are just taking their bedding and sprawling it everywhere now and just causing mess and chaos. Other animals are looking for the attention, so the keepers are having to up the level of attention that they would give, or the enrichment, or the different feeding times, to give the animals more things to do. What we've got to remember is that you guys as visitors and us as keepers, we play a huge part in these animals' lives on a day-to-day basis. We are their entertainment. As much as we think that they're entertaining us, I guarantee you they're watching every single person go by, and they're getting something out of it as well. And we've got lots of different animals that see cars daily, like the monkeys, animals like their snakes that normally get handled by people that are now sitting in their vivaria saying, "Oh, well, I've not been used this week at all." So yeah, I think the animals definitely are feeling it. I mean, we're only 4 or 5 weeks into this already. We've got another 3 weeks from the government so far. We'll have to see how it goes. But certainly, don't worry. The keepers are giving them extra cuddles, extra food, extra toys and games to play with. And certainly, we're trying to keep them as busy as possible.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. That's actually all the time we have right now. And thank you to everyone for sending in their questions. Tina, Caleb and Graeme for giving some fantastic answers. I'm actually lucky enough now to have some more of the keepers' times, and we're going to continue answering your questions. So please do leave any more questions that you have in the comments, and we will try and get them answered and shared with you soon. But from everyone at Longleat, we just want to say, stay safe. hold. I think we're off. Just